Welcome back to another weekly watch list. Hope you guys having a great day, great weekend so far. It's been a honor to, every week we go over all these, trades and all these tickers that we had last week. It's really beneficial, and for me, it's really an honor to help you guys um, in a better way and kind of understand how exactly all these things are really works, because a lot of you guys are still kind of in the phase of um, emotional range and dealing with if the day trading is really for you, if trading is even for you. So um, it all comes down to the culture of it. A lot of people are still having this mindset, and also it's your mindset too. A lot of people are still having this mindset of quick money machine, uh, anything that I can become millionaire overnight. I mean, I said it over and over. I think there's a lot of people out there, they tell you the same thing, but it's very important how you are going to pick from people's that understands better. They have more experience. Pick their thoughts and implement it to your daily life. But the problem of the mindset of a lot of people is they get into this game. They see all these people on social media, you know, driving crazy exotic cars, putting putting the picture out there. But in reality, some of them are very successful that they achieve them. Some of them are not, and in reality, you should not really put yourself um into those thoughts, because human brain can contains a lot of information, contains a lot of things, and those things can be very bad at the same time, be very good at the same time. They can combine together and create something. I mean, generate something in your mind that you're going to think like that forever. I mean, that's going to create something which essentially going to be your mindset towards everything. Doesn't matter if it's trading, if it's buying a house, if it's I don't know, real estate, whatever, or M&A, whatever that you think that you want to do something with. That bad mindset could really affect you. So that's why you have to always read book. I always encourage you guys reading books. It doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily means to read books for trading related. Uh, Read psychology books, personal growth book. All those kind of things will help you to have a settle emotion. Have a It helps you drive towards your goal, towards your passion, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just giving you my 2 cents about life, not just uh, trading specifically. I mean, these are combined together, and you eventually create a this person out of yourself, and um, you can kind of figure out what is the best thing to do for yourself, instead of following these people, or put myself into their life. I see these people life and all that things, and oh, am I gonna be like them, or am I gonna ever make it through that? The word using like being like them, it would definitely discourage you of achieving anything different than your goal. Like it just doesn't. It definitely not a good mindset when you keep thinking that, oh, I want to be like someone that I'm seeing every day. I want to be like them. I want to copy them. Copy them. You gotta create your own self. You gotta create someone else out of yourself if you're struggling. So that really helps. Keep that in mind. You always have to be patient and making sure that um, all the alignments are, all the thoughts are aligned with each other, and you're not gonna get distracted, you're not gonna be too scattered, you're not gonna be jumpy everywhere. That doesn't really gives you benefit, that doesn't really helps you down the road to achieve your goal. And specifically for trading, you learn a lot of thing about the human psychology. I mean, I'll talk about the psychology. There's a psychology part in our beginner course, and on the intermediate and advanced, which will come out after our beginner course will launch. I'm working on it. Hopefully soon it will be available, and I'll make an announcement so you guys can get access to it. But yeah, that's very important. I mean, it really influenced my life in so many ways. I encourage you guys read so many books. Um, I do read many books. Doesn't necessarily have to be related to trading. I read different kind of books. It's just you don't have to necessarily go that route, but just when you change your habit, you will have a better understanding of material, better understanding of things that happenings around you, in your surroundings. So yeah, you just that concept you kind of have to get into the thick of it. And for trading, you always want to be at your best possible um, um, I mean timing, moment, and everything. You want to be at your highest uh, level of understanding, at your highest of mood and everything. Because if you're not happy, and if you're not encouraged, if you're not passionate, if you're not committed, you're definitely going to lose more money in trading. You just have to think about the positivity. You have to have that positive mindset. Every single day when you're trading, every single day that we are trading all these companies, um, you gotta have that positive mindset towards your every day that you wake up. Uh, I don't know what time frame zone you guys are. Some people trade in the midnight if they're overseas. Some people in the West Coast, they have to wake up earlier, like myself, and you gotta get ready, be always ready for what's going to happen when you treat your trading as a business. And you gotta have that good mindset. You gotta have that ongoing a good positive mindset. Uh, and if you're not in emotionally in the right position, you definitely have to set back. You don't have to force trading. I tell people in the chat all the time, do not force trade. If there's no edge there, and if you're not in mentally in a position that you're going to make a trade, just set back, avoid trading, shut down your computer, go out for a walk, go do something else. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do it, because that's how a disciplined trader um, can become disciplined, more disciplined. You if you want to be disciplined, you have to make sure that your emotions are in place and all those things. So yeah, that's my 2 cents for kind of like a start of the weekly watch list. Hope that really changed some people mindset. And I mean, I know a lot of you guys are struggling still with the emotions and all that. It's okay, everyone been there, I've been there. It's something that you need. I mean, you can't avoid it entirely, that's impossible, but you can make sure that you can control it. That is very important. So let's get started to our watch list. This week we have a very short watch list. Only have two on my list, on my day trade list, and one we had Coinbase. That's which probably I'm just gonna talk about how things went, and a great swing trade on that one. So before I start, I'm going to tell you guys all this for educational purposes. It's not investment advice. If you don't like it, um, shut it and don't watch it. And if you like it, if you want to learn something new and get better at your trading, and this is the place to be at. And I'm doing my best to, you know, give you guys as much as knowledge that I know, share it with you, my experience and all that, and pretty much all the information that we got from our last week trades and all that. So let's get started to our number one watch list, which is BuzzFeed. BZFD came out with the massive news. I did trade this few times. Actually, this was the biggest trade of year so far for me, because of the setup. Um, this setup was an A plus setup. Why is that? Because the news was there, volume was there, um, and all the trends was there. Um, I did really like it because the hype also was there too. I mean, it was kind of like a trend after the news came out. The news came out with a potential part. I mean, there's a partnership going on with the Facebook and BuzzFeed, and another big major headline was that BuzzFeed they're using a ChatGPT for to content to generate content. As pretty much they are a communication service sector. Um, I think they're magazine, so that's really helped them to use that AI and all those things. So that brought so much attention to the traders and all investors pretty much, and the stock went to 425 max, and we had it on a this was a multi-day winner. We had it on Thursday, uh, after they launched they actually released the news late in the afternoon because the stock was running into the pre-market, and I pretty much traded a few scalp, and then I was waiting for the setup to come back, and had a really nice average at 120, 125 something, 125, 128, and just all of a sudden the volume just surged, poured into it. News came out, and the stock it just blasted to the $2, and that was a really good trade for me personally, because I was really patient with the trade. I knew that the news is really good, although um, it really reached to the level that I had to cut it, because I didn't want to really hold on to something that necessarily doesn't go, because the volume pretty much gone. Like it went out. Everything were faded, and it was that last moment that everything's come back because of the press release. So that's very important to know that it doesn't necessarily mean that it could have run, but that news was a positive catalyst. When you analyze the news, you have to understand what exactly means. So you have to kind of like go through it, and um, make sure that you understand it. That's very important, and it's part of your due diligence, which I talked about it in our course. So that was one of them, and one settle, and then took my profit. Next day, we had this mass. I knew that there's a continuation because the news was related to, bigger company comes in, Meta, also these Chat GPT trends. So everyone's love to know these type of kind of news related, and that's what I realized, and I saw that opportunity. The next day, the bottom just kept, adding. I saw that, order flow that coming through from the bottom, even though there was massive shorts that, and lots of profit takers at the range of 299. I think the resistant was pretty much that 295. It was a very tough one. Let me put up the 5 minute chart so we have a better look at it. There we go. I have all these lines set up right there. So we have this double top, um, right around 290, and then it break into, uh, reaches to my topper channel, break above that, hold that channel, and then 425. That was a max one, and a massive dilution right there. And the stock, try to hold that 320, pretty much that range. But the biggest part was here, right around $3. $3 was a very tough resistance, because I remember he kept get rejected. Let me put up the 1 minute actually. And then what I saw was this massive buyout, and the stock just dropped down to get all the stops, all the orders at the bottom, and then just squeeze back up, and then another ceiling right above that $3. So this was pretty much the triple top, but uh, you know the price action was huge. Although the stock is considered as a mid float, 68.90, 68 million float, which considered as a mid float, but liquidity wasn't there that much. That's why it caused this massive price action right there. So I anticipated again with that move, and took a smaller profit than the other day. I did not anticipate to the bigger move to the $4 because I had to leave. But it was definitely something that to look forward to it, in the afternoon of Friday. So that was the best trade so far for January. I would say. Hopefully, we will get better than this setup, in the next months or so. But yeah, I'll have it on the watch list. I do like this to kind of like continue to fade out, but I do know that this $4 range is pretty much 350 and $4 range kind of holding. As long as the trend continues, this is talk really tend to release the press release pretty late or come up with another release. Why is that? Because it's very um considered as it's also a high float. It offers a lot of shares to the public. I think that's very important to know that they do, probably, they have the potential to release more news, but you got to keep that in mind. That can stop happening. This thing can really fade out and get diluted. But there's a range to 457 and I have 470 as the max is 5. So let's see how this plays out. I do think that there is that potential still stock at that higher channel. Um, but although after 425 is making that lower high, but kept the range. So I wanted to see if this $4 wool, um, yeah, I want to see this $4 range kind of hold because there's still some rewards left. But you got to keep that in mind. The stock can really, I mean, there's a huge downside potential on this one. The stock really can get shorted, massive setups on the short side, to go back to wherever it was, 215, whatever. So yeah, that was it, and we have our old friend GNS still coming out with that, all those hype and stuff with the naked shorts going on. I put it on the watch list because I kept seeing that average is just getting add up. It's just getting add up. Um, it could be all these shorts are covering because they can't drop the price down. There's not a lot of shorts on this yet. That's why that price really didn't really didn't really drop to that $2 range or below. So it kept that kind of like another short cover or buyout. A lot of dip traders as well. But if you look at it as from $6 range, I mean, pretty much stock ran up. Let's see, from 16, we had this massive one. Yeah, pretty much 89% from that current. So we will say if there's is this 40, there's another 40% still. I mean, it could definitely have show some activities down in the upcoming week. That's why I would think there's much volume left, unless if we're seeing that this is multi-day runner continued and then get shorted out at the $5 range and just consolidation, and then fade out again. And that's still a setup. But I want to see that more squeeze because every time that the stock just buy it out, there is that squeeze, and then that ceiling resistant hold back, and then another squeeze. So I like those squeeze that happen because it creates that momentum, and lots of potential to the upside. But like I said, I'm still looking for the confirmation. We got to see if there's the confirmation. The CEO came out and talked and had an interview. This CEO is very passionate about their company. He announced that the increase of 60% in their revenue, which definitely doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be very profitable down the road. That might be very temporary. That is definitely temporary. But you gotta keep that in mind. The fundamental side of it doesn't necessarily means how much the small cap can really go. I mean, you have to combine all those due diligence together. But the float is very tiny. I believe GNS has only 10 million float. The company's still dealing with that naked shorts stuff, so I don't that really scares a lot of shorts to kind of avoid this ticker. That something you gotta keep that in mind. And I mean, he announced that they're having some upcoming accusation down the road. They don't have any offering, but they only have like 17 million cash left. So if they're going to acquire businesses, you gotta keep that in mind. That cash burn and all the cash they're gonna left after they're going to acquire some other stuff related to their industry. So that was the latest headline with GNS. Uh, what I'm looking for is that if that range ever happened. Other than that, our swing trade coin was massive. I mean, I hope you guys uh, took that. And when I said I'm taking partial, and then I locked out my all my gains on Friday um, at 57.50, and that was my average in the sell. Stock ran up another full dollar without me pretty much, but I was happy with the decision and the profit obviously, um, and hopefully you guys also follow along and enjoy that trade. That's what I was looking for. Last 2 weeks I mentioned that stock is in this topper line back to the 56, huge sell off. huge sell off. That's what I was looking for, to see if there's gonna be a good entry after the sell off. Create that, massive dilution, and then pull back. The trends kind of fade out, but the trends came back, and I was looking for that 50 range to sorry 50 range to see the better outcome. Actually, we do have the channel here. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, there we go. This was a bigger sell off right around Wednesday. I believe this was, yeah, last two Wednesdays. So we had this huge sell off, lower high, and all of it, and then came back. Then the stock came back down to the previous support at 48, 49, and that's why I saw that, okay, this is a great entry if we're going to continue with this trend, and crypto is going to be still in the place of hype. Still it is. That's why stock ran up again. But the company coin, as I mentioned that last few weeks, it's better off than other exchanges. It's regulated at some point, so it does have the potential. So that was a short swing. I do liked it. I mean, short. What I mean by short time frame, not the short sell. But that was really good. 50.07 was my initial average, and then the stock took my partial after the second day run up, because I didn't want to lose that potential profit up there. I mean, I could kept it and then waited along for a pullback for another pop up, but I don't recommend to do that. I always said you can always take your partial, took some in the pocket, put it on the side, and then let the rest just ride. If it's going back to the same position, you can add in if you see that channel is still there, the trend is continuing. So you don't want to add here when the stock is failing with the catalyst. You wanna add when the stock is still in that trend, still with the topic, still with the hype. Because you can understand that this is just a profit taking, and then the continuation, and eventually we had this over here. So I'm thinking that this could potentially, I have the top channel right here, so I could potentially go back to 65. I do have 62 here. I don't see much of a resistance so far. I mean, you gotta kind of understand this is very very much cross over the downtrend from 2000, well, from October 2022. So that's a really good range for a trade. And also you got to keep that in mind, we have an earning coming up, so I don't want to risk holding before the earning. I do believe that all these crypto exchanges are going to have a very bad earnings. I mean, that's 80% could be true. Another 20% could be opposite. It could be very good earning, but you got to keep that in mind. I wanted to be safe. That's why I closed out my position. I don't have any more position on this, and pretty much was wasn't the longer swing as the other swing that we had in the past, but it was pretty much the time frame that I was looking for. That 8 days, 9 days. I think we had this since the 40 here. Yeah, last last 2 weeks. So we had this for 2 weeks pretty much. So that was a successful trade. I hope you guys anticipated, enjoy it, and lock in your gains and profit. As I always mention, lock in your profit. If you have any position, do not scared of things, and don't be greedy, please, and don't get into the FOMO of it. So we're done with this. Uh, and that's our wrap for a weekly watch list. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. And if you guys have any question, reach out to our support or DM Telegram, or DM me on Twitter. Uh, any way that you want to communicate. Take care, everybody, and have a great day.